Hi, and welcome to Tips by Kelly. I'm Kelly Walcotton, and I'm a wildlife, nature, underwater, and travel photographer. I also teach Photoshop and Lightroom. I hope you enjoy today's tips and are able to learn something. Today we're going to use the crop tool in Photoshop to help with our composition. As you can see, my elk is pretty much centrally placed, and I don't like him dead in the center. So I'm going to want to crop around him, take some space off the back outside of him, leave the space in the front, kind of make it proportional. So to do that, I'm going to click on the crop tool up here. And once I do that, I got a whole bunch of different things up here that I could choose from. And this is where most people don't realize that you have choices within your crop tool. First and foremost, you have to choose what ratio that you might want to crop it into, whether you want to do it in a ratio or whether you want to do it in a specific size. These are kind of your most used. Otherwise, here, look, you can even set a new crop preset. So if you have a size that isn't listed yet, you know this is what you need to do, especially if you have a lot of them, you could set that size for you to expedite that for printing. I'm going to kind of leave it width and height resolution. Here I can type the size that I want this. If I have a certain size I know and it's not listed, I could do that. I would just simply type the 11 inches IN, and I'm going to go 14 inches here. And here is where I can choose whether I want it in pixels and how many pixels I want. I know I'm going to print this, so let's choose 300 pixels for that. And with this, notice I have the 11 and the 14, and it came up horizontal instead of vertical. So I can click these arrows right here, and it quickly flips that around to give me the proper aspect that I want it to be in. Here is where I use the biggest amount of my tools. It looks like a pin cushion or grid, and I'm going to just click down on this, and you can see all the choices that I have. I have rule of thirds, a grid, diagonal triangle, golden ratio, etc., etc. I tend to use the rule of thirds or the golden ratio. Those are my two favorite ones, and those are kind of my two go-tos. I also can choose whether I want to auto show the overlay, always show the overlay, or never show the overlay. The overlay is the set of grid marks within my crop area. If I choose to auto show it, it will only show when I move these lines. Otherwise, it will show it all the time. So that's what I'm going to use. I've also got here to delete those cropped pixels so that when it's done, it is the finished size that I want. Here I can undo or reset the crop box. I can commit the current crop operation. I can cancel the whole thing if I want. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this. It already chose that 11 by 14, but it kept him pretty centered. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this a bit because I know I want it done a little differently. So there's my 11 by 14. Now what I can do is I can still reposition within this crop area without having to start over. I click and hold down and check it out. I can move this around as I want and make it where I want it to be. So I can even tweak this a little bit more and set it right there. And now look, there it is. That's a much more pleasing composition. I like that. Now all I would have to do is hit enter, my keyboard, and it would commit that crop, and there he is, just as I had asked. Thank you for watching Tips by Kelly. I hope you enjoyed yourself and learned something today. Please visit my website, my blog, and Facebook page to learn more.